Hi, everybody. It is that time of the night on a Friday night, and that means it's another episode of Tarot by Hillary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hillary of tarotbyhillary.com. My website is right there for your perusal, and I am a professional tarot reader, demystifying the mystical and connecting you to your intuition, which, my friend, you do have. Everyone has intuition. So, welcome to tonight's episode. I have a little bit of a surprise for you, which I'm going to bring up on later on in the episode. So, you really need to stay tuned so that you can get in on the special mystery prize that I'm going to be doing a little giveaway for later on in the broadcast. But tonight's episode is all about talking about the winter solstice, aka Yule, and what that means. Because not only am I a professional tarot reader, I am also a practicing witch. So sometimes my work connects those two parts of my life together. And sometimes a client that I'm doing a tarot reading for will ask me about spells they can do or ways to manifest that's a little bit more of outside of the realm of what a regular tarot reader would do. So, like recommendations for honey jars to sweeten a situation, or sugar spells to sweeten a situation, or putting someone on ice by putting their name in the freezer, that sort of thing. So, but there are people that consider themselves witches that are just spellcasters on their own. And then there are other people that are witches, and this is their spiritual practice, their beliefs, and it is usually nature-based. I happen to fall into that second category. Not only do I cast spells, but there is a spiritual aspect to it, and it is my religion. I'm a witch, that's my religion. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking all about the winter solstice and what that means, because the winter solstice this year is tomorrow, December 21st. So I'm currently broadcasting this on December 20th at around 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're watching the replay later on, just know that you're getting this information at the time of the winter solstice. Okay? Okay. So let me quickly take a little water break. And if you're tuning in live, or if you're tuning in on the replay, please go ahead and say your name and where you're tuning in from, because I would love to be able to say hi to you here live. And Nikki's saying hello. Hello, Nikki. Welcome. And where are you tuning in from? Love to hear it. Also, quick side note here, I would really appreciate it if you're watching this on Facebook Live, or if you're watching it on YouTube later on. Please go ahead, subscribe to my channel, like this video, give me all the hearts and the love, because I need to, not only is it nice, I need your support and those algorithms through YouTube, through Facebook, so that I can continue to do this work to give you free workshops for you, to benefit you, to benefit my community. And I enjoy doing it too. So Nikki's tuning in from Colorado. I'm broadcasting from New York. So sometimes we've got international viewers as well, which is really cool. And I'm always interested to know when the time zone is. Like some of my clients come from Australia, some of them come from Riyadh. So it's interesting when they want live readings with me, syncing up the time zones. Okay, so let me go ahead and look at the agenda here. Of course, I didn't update the agenda, but I should have. So let me go ahead and update it, because we were talking about Yule, aka the winter solstice, tonight. So before I get started and we talk a little bit about the winter solstice and Yule and what that means, and also what that means for your divinatory practices, I'm going to tell you a little bit about a giveaway that I'm going to be doing tonight towards the end of the episode. So you have to keep on tuning in. You have to be here live in order to win. So my dear friend and forever on my ass business mentor, Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady, she sent me a little bit of an encouraging present, Yule present. So I'm going to start with this. And it was also, even though I had planned to talk about the winter solstice a couple of days ago, I just thought it was very fitting that I happened to get a gift in the mail today at the time where gift giving is usually appropriate. So, but it was really encouraging to get this in the mail. And as you'll see in a minute or two, you benefit from it. One lucky listener or viewer will benefit from this. So Teresa sent me Susan Hyatt's It's Go Time planner. Look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? And it has all these tabs, and it has stickers in the front, and it has all of this inspiration and appreciation and letting go, and of course the calendar itself. So this is for the year 2020. So thank you very, very much, Teresa. I really appreciate it and I love it. And I think it's super, super interesting. And it's like, I can whack people over the head with it if I'm feeling sassy as well. So I love it. Thank you so much. Mwah. Here's the good thing for you guys, though. So because I just received this, and I am a planner junkie, and I do like to plan out my life on pen and paper, even though I do have, you know, my my online scheduling system. And so most of the stuff that I have on my calendar is also backed up online as well as pen and paper. So I love Passion Planner. And if you're interested in all of this and planning your year ahead for 2020, you really want to go back and watch, not last week because I took a personal day last week, but the last episode that we did was goal setting with the tarot, and also talking about your year card, calculating your tarot card for the year 2020. So it's called Goal Setting with the Tarot. Go back into my archives wherever you're watching this. I promise you it's there. And tune into that, because I do talk a little bit about planners, and then using that information about what your tarot card is for the year 2020 and putting that in a prominent place in your planner, in the front or the back or whatever of your planner, so that you can refer back to it often when you were going through that year to see how that tarot card's energy is manifesting in that year, and how that the events of that year are reflecting that tarot card. So for example, I am going into a Chariot year in the year 2020. So I have a feeling it's going to be a very, very busy year for me, and also having a lot of things in the fire, and just a lot of things to wrangle, but in a good way, and like a major up-leveling kind of year. So that's the reason why I was talking about planners. So this is the Passion Planner for the year 2020 with the Monday start date. Well, a Monday, like in the week, you can have a Sunday start or a Monday start. I prefer the Monday start. So keep that in mind, but it has all the specifications right here on the front. For 2020, it's medium size, Monday start, and it's 12-month dated planner from Passion Planner. And it's really, really excellent. And if you want more information about this, you can go to passionplanner.com. I can also put the link in the chat later on. Just let me know, say link, say I want to know about that Passion Planner, or you can even Google it, but I'm happy to give you that information. So, but the reason why I'm talking about this, folks, is this is going to be the giveaway for tonight. This one right here. You are going to get a Passion Planner I believe the cost is $35 value, but you are going to get this. One person is going to get this absolutely free, and I will send it to you. If you are in the United States, I will ship this out to you. So one lucky person is going to win this tonight if you stay tuned for the entire broadcast, okay? Because Teresa gave me this planner, and I had already planned ahead, get it? Planned ahead, and bought this planner for 2020. So I'm going to use this one, and someone is going to get my brand new 2020 Passion Planner. Not only that, so this is the blush pink planner, and it went to a portion of the proceeds for some of these passion planners, depending on the color of the cover, goes to different charities. So I believe in buying this one, I supported the Malala Fund. So that means that you're kind of going to be supporting the Malala Fund if you happen to win this tonight. So can I get a hell yeah in the chats? And let me know if you want to win this by saying planner. Write in the chat planner. I'm going to remind you about this later on in the broadcast so that one person can win this, because I'm going to find a randomizer, a number randomizer online, so we make it fair. But one person is going to win this. So yay! So thank you, Teresa, for being the inspiration for this surprise giveaway tonight, live on the Solstice Workshop. And again, if you're tuning in, I see that we might have 2 or 3 live viewers going on right now. Please say your name, say where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear from you, and drop the word planner so that you can be in the running to win this lovely planner right here. See, it's still in the cellophane. I have not unwrapped it. I didn't put anything in it. It's completely blank and ready for you to use. Okay. Enough housekeeping, enough fun. So you're gonna wanna get in on this. All right. And if we don't have any winners, and if we don't have any takers for this giveaway, then I'm going to find a lucky person to give this away to in my own personal life. So take full advantage. You want this planner. It's a really, really good planner. I've been using Passion Planner for at least 3 to 4 years now. So I like it. Anyway, on to the main topic of tonight's workshop. We're talking about Yule. We're talking about winter solstice. So the winter solstice traditionally happens on around December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, sometimes December 20th. So it's around that range. And I'm going to read for you a little bit about the winter solstice from Phyllis Curot's book, Book of Shadows. A Modern Woman's Journey into the Wisdom of Witchcraft and the Magic of the Goddess. So this was originally published in 1998. And I really enjoyed this book. I've read it a number of times at this point, but so part of it is a primer about modern witchcraft, and part of it is her memoir of her first days, her first introduction into the craft, and just the different celebrations of the seasons, the different celebrations of different goddesses. What is it like to be initiated? Some recommended spells, but it's mostly a memoir of what was going on in her life that brought her to the craft, and what was going on in her life as she was a novice to the craft. So in the back of this book, it has a few different resources on different books that she recommends, and different spells, charms, and magical potions. But here, we want to talk about the Wheel of the Year. When someone talks about the Wheel of the Year, they mean the cycle of the year. We have spring, summer, winter, fall, and we have different celebrations during those seasons and during those months. So the Wheel of the Year are the names of, so it's the names of the Sabbats and their explanations that following are from the Celtic tradition. So a lot of the stuff that we see in modern witchcraft, it's not necessarily old. It's not necessarily ancient. Modern witchcraft really is a hodgepodge of belief systems. And we can't say, you know, that this is like the oldest craft in the world or anything like that. It is, quite frankly, a modern religion, but based upon ancient belief systems, if that makes sense. So let me know if that makes sense in the chat, and I'll go on. So there are numerous parallels to the Greek and Italian traditions, the Celtic traditions. Sometimes they vary according to the differences in planting cycles and agriculture, since we were so connected to the land and the crops that fed us and the animals that fed us if we were hunters. And not only that, I was just doing some reading for my priestess training, and it's not just about Greek, Italian, Celtic traditions in the planting cycles or the seasons. It is also based upon the stars, the constellations, the astrological component that comes along with the seasons as well. So in the Wheel of the Year, we consider, and by we, I mean witches or other people that believe in my belief system, we believe that Samhain is kind of the witches' new year, and that's October 31st, aka Halloween. So that's the first Sabbath. So we're now coming into the winter solstice, which is December 21st, the longest night of the year, aka Yule. So I'm going to read straight from the book here. If you want to pick this up, I believe it's a really great book. She also has a sequel to this called The Love Spell, which is also kind of a memoir style writing. And then I believe she has a more nonfiction how-to book called Witchcrafting, if I'm remembering correctly. But the author is Phyllis Curott, okay? So Yule, December 21st, Yule is the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. It is celebrated as the festival of light, where the great goddess conceives, or in some traditions, gives birth to her son, the sun god. It is the Sabbath for rejoicing in the discovery of light and new life within the womb of darkness, as each day now grows brighter. Appropriated in the 6th century CE, Common Era, by the Christian calendar, when the official birthday of Christ was moved to December 25th. So that is one witch's version of what Yule is, okay? But in so many other traditions, there are stories, legends that go along with Yule about the turning of the season. In our particular coven, because I do have a coven, I'm not a solitary practitioner, at least not anymore, we have a retelling or a battle or a reenactment of a battle between the Oak King that rules the warmer months and the Holly King that rules the winter months into spring. And they are brothers. And one has to either battle the other to gain supremacy, or sometimes in different years, we've had the Oak King laying down their arms and going to sleep, or gracefully yielding their throne to their brother, the Holly King. So that's one of the traditions that we reenact during Yule. Another tradition that we have, there was a talk about the light within. We call it the child of promise, that light within. We usually light candles from off of the altar to symbolize our light within, especially when it becomes so important during the winter months, during the cold, the snow, the barrenness, where you feel, and the darker days. you need a little bit of light to remind you that the sun shall shine again, and it's coming back. So it's actually interesting to note that on December 21st, on the winter solstice, that is the longest night of the year, which means that after that point, the days are getting longer again. So it is a time of growing brightness, even though it doesn't seem like that to our minds, because sometimes it is bitterly cold and sometimes very gray out and snowy. It is actually the light returning. There is more hours of daylight rather than nighttime after the winter solstice. In history, there were certain traditions that would happen around Yule, such as telling scary stories. So we actually just recently did this at our Yule celebration, which was on December 15th. So we try and get our Yule celebration as close to the actual winter solstice as possible, as people's schedules allow too. So we retold some scary stories in the tradition, or the historical tradition, and we were trying to bring that back again. What else? Creating garlands of cranberries, having a tree even is a little bit of a pagan nod to putting wishes on the tree for them to come true, for them to be affirmed and blessed by the child of promise. That's another Yule tradition. And also, the main reason why I'm talking about Yule today is it was a time of prophecy. It was a time of divination. And the reason why that is, I think, is because in the secular calendar, we're about to embark on a new year. So what better time of the year, of the ending of that year, for divination, for prophecy, to see what the new year has in store for everyone so that we can plan better. So I feel as if Yule has it's a wonderful segue into planning out your new year and your new year's celebrations, because and doing that divination on Yule or on the winter solstice to be able to get your prophecy, get your information, so that by the time the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve, you've got a game plan ahead of you. You don't need to be doing all that planning on January 1st because you've already done it ahead of time using the tool of the divination during the winter solstice. So if that makes sense to everyone, please give me a hell yeah in the chat and let me know if this is working for you. And I would really love to know, out of everything that I just told you about different rituals, different traditions for Yule, what would you like to add to your Yule celebration or your Christmas celebration if you were a Christian celebrating Christmas on Wednesday, the 25th? Because a lot of these celebrations, these seasonal celebrations that we have, the Christian calendar, it's not so different from the pagan calendar when you really think about it. And in fact, a lot of the traditions and the symbology were merged together from originally pagan origins. And I know a certain group of Christians is probably not going to be that thrilled for me saying that, but it is historically true. So that child of promise that we're talking about, that's Jesus for them. That's the child of promise for them. That is the light. That is the sun. So I would rather be more inclusive than exclusive and acknowledge that we are all one, especially in religion. Most of the time, our religions are more similar to each other than actually different. In Wicca and witchcraft, during ritual, we usually have cakes and ale. acknowledging the cake, may you never hunger, the ale or wine or grape juice or apple juice, may you never thirst. May you never hunger. May you never thirst. It's an act of community in eating together, an act of fellowship, but also in acknowledging that is a spell, that's a ritual, that's part of the ritual. In eating that bread or cake or cookies or a piece of fruit, and in drinking that libation, we're not only casting a spell for abundance for ourselves that we may never hunger, but we're also casting that for our community when we gather together. That to me is not that much different than the Eucharist, the body, the blood of Christ. It's all one. That God is in our food. It's in our sustenance. So I'm getting a little bit philosophical here, but ultimately we are all one. So that's another purpose of this particular workshop, is talking about Yule, talking about the winter solstice, talking about divination as well as a part of planning and setting our new year. And also acknowledging the light that we have within, because we all have it. And sometimes it gets very hard to see during the winter months when it is cold, when it is bleak, when there's snow blankets the ground. But did you know when the snow blankets the ground, it's actually helping the earth become more fertile, more sustainable for life when that snow thaws in the spring? So it all has a purpose. It all has a meaning. So if anyone has any questions for me about divination, what kinds of divination you can do during the winter solstice, the same kinds of divination that you can do all year round, but you can also maybe add some flame gazing to it if you happen to have a fireplace. And look for messages in the flames. The Yule log, I mean, that's another tradition that we have, that we talk about. Even though from my memories, we did have a fireplace when I was a kid, and I loved tending to that fireplace. But my parents are originally from England, and they didn't really have this concept of the Yule log on TV, and they thought it was fantastic. But if you don't have a fireplace to hand, you can always look for messages in the Yule log on TV. Crystal gazing, flame gazing, looking at a candle flame with a softened gaze. And then, of course, tarot. Pull out your tarot deck. Make up a spread that is just for you and you alone about Yule, about the winter solstice, about the coming year. Or just throw down some cards without any positional meanings defined and see what the cards have to say for you for the new year, and how you can bring this energy, this light into the new year. So I'm going to put up Q&A, and let me know if you have any questions about Yule or anything else you want to ask me right now. No question is taboo, but if I don't want to answer it, I'm not going to answer it. If you get a little personal, I'm not going to answer the question, but any question is valid, but it's up to me whether or not I choose to answer it, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to take a quick drink of water. And if you don't have any questions, hi, Dina. Yeah, nice idea. Which one? So while we're talking about Q&A, if you don't have any questions in the chat, I would love to hear what ideas you might be getting for your own rituals or your own celebrations of this time of year. Yule, Christmas, Hanukkah. Like, I would really love to know, because a lot of these celebrations involve candle flame. and candles and lighting of candles. So let me know if there's any ideas that you just got from this workshop that you're going to apply this year. I would love to hear it. So Dina's saying that tarot pull for the solstice. Yeah, and you don't have to do just one card, or you can use the, here, I'm going to put that up there. Freeform tarot pull for the solstice. So is that what you're going to do, Dina? I would love to hear it. So I was about to say something. I can't remember. But some of my plans for the solstice this year. So I already, as I said before, my coven already celebrated Yule last weekend. But my particular plan is to go out with the sunrise tomorrow morning, to get up before the sunrise tomorrow morning and go for a walk in my neighborhood park and hug a couple of trees. I know it sounds a little bit silly, but give some energy to the trees there, especially the evergreen trees, but all trees are equal and will get my energy. But the evergreen, the pine, any of those trees that give you that scent of nostalgia and make you think of this time of the year, that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow morning. And I'm going to be putting my hands on the ground, even though it's going to be cold. And I'm going to watch the sunrise, and I'm going to thank the gods and the goddesses for that sunrise. I'm trying to tie in the light to my practice, to my solstice celebration, because that's what it is there for. It's acknowledgement of the longest night and the brighter days and the lengthening days ahead. So, and maybe I'll bring my tarot deck with me out into the neighborhood and the neighborhood park and see what the tarot has to say. Probably going to take my Wild Unknown deck just because it makes sense to me. Does anyone have any questions for me before we get into the giveaway? Because we're not going to be doing a weekend forecast this time around. We're going to be doing the giveaway instead. Let me know. Sorry, chugging this water. That's another thing about Yule. That's another thing about this time of year. Our apartment gets really, really hot at this time of year because we have heating pipes, and they're actually in the ceiling for us. And it needs to be warm in here so that I can like heat up the entire building, but our apartment gets like particularly warm and dry. So I am having to drink a lot of water and doing a lot of like humidifier sprays and everything to be able to take a deep breath and not get all in the throat. Dina also says, breathing the scent of the pine sounds great too. Yeah, and we actually have a wreath on our door that I've been spritzing with water to try and keep it intact, and then taking a good long sniff of that. But if you don't happen to have access to nature, to a pine or what have you, or a Christmas tree for that matter, you can look into some essential oils or candles that will give you that scent. It's not necessarily very earthy, let's just say, but it is a good way to substitute and still bring in that that energy, that scent memory into it, because you have to do what feels best for you. Some people are triggered in a good way. Let me clarify. Some people are more affected by sounds, by music. Other people are more affected by scent. Other people are more affected by vision or art. So you do have to kind of play to your strengths and your talents and know what gets you into a certain mood. So, oh, that's a good question. So, Dina, I would love you to clarify this question. But she's asking, do you chant at all? Yes, I do chant. I do like to sing. So there are certain songs that I sing during Yule. I'm going to answer this question towards Yule, but if you're thinking about something else, like just clarify the question. So some of the chants or songs that I like to sing during Yule, there were two that in particular that we did at our Yule celebration this past weekend. One was the Holly and the Ivy, and the other one was the Spirit of Solstice by the Weird Sisters. I think that's the name of them. So if you want to look both of those up, so the Holly and the Ivy is kind of Christianized, I guess, but I can give you. Now I'm out of water, so excuse me if I crack on this. Oh, the holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the shining of the winter stars, as the longer days draw near. Something like that. And I'm sorry if I'm off pitch. It's been a long day. So that's the holly and the ivy. And we just sing that over and over again. And you don't have to have a good singing voice. Honestly, the gods, the goddesses, the spirits, they'll take anything and anyone, because it is with that breath, with that chant, it's like an acknowledgement. We hear you, we see you, we're celebrating you, or we're celebrating this time of year. So, so Yule and solstice. So good. I'm on the same track as you, Dina. Okay. So that's the holly and the ivy. And the other one is the Spirit of Solstice, which I'm not going to be able to remember right now, but it's by the Weird Sisters. And let me see if I can look it up and see if I can play it. So let me see. One of these days I am going to figure out. No, I don't need that. I don't need import media. Share screen, add guest. Do you want to, let me see. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. So, can you see that? Oh, let me put my face down. Nope. That's not it. Ah, that's not it either. It pushed me up to the back. All right. Let me. This is kind of creepy here. It's like a riddle and an enigma. All right, so you're gonna have to bear with me here. And hopefully I'm not on screen anymore. Can you see me on? See, that's the problem with this. Whoa! All right, it should be better now, right? Okay.
The long night draws near. All who need comfort are welcome by here. We'll dance neath the stars and toast the past year. For the spirit of solstice is still living here. We'll count all our blessings while the mother lays down with snow as her blanket, covering the ground. Thanks to the mother for the life that she brings. She'll waken to warm us again in the spring. The poor and the hungry, the sick and the lost, These are our children, no matter the cost. Come by the fire, the harvest to share, for the spirit of solstice is still living here. Fire is burning, the long night draws near. All you need, welcome by here. Dance neath the stars and close the past year, for the spirit of solstice is still living here. The spirit of solstice is still living here.
And hopefully you were able to hear that. And let me know in the chat if you were able to hear a little bit of it. And I'm going to go ahead and share the link in the chat. And there we go. And that's a little bit better. So that's a little bonus for you guys. We often do that every Yule. And the reason why we do that, hold on, let me see here. So the reason why we tend to do it every year, it's not because we're not creative or we can't think of other things to do. It's because the power of ritual sometimes is in the repetition, doing something every year or every season, using those same tools or that same chalice or that same cauldron. The power builds with use, with practice. So that same thing can be said with chants as well. So there's another wonderful song, and I've got to mention it because it just came up on my Spotify yesterday, is Midwinter Carol. I believe it's Midwinter Carol by Tori Amos. I'm going to quickly look that up. I'm not going to put it up on the screen again, but let me see here if it'll actually... Winter's Carol, sorry. The reason why I was saying Midwinter is because the name of the album is Midwinter Graces. And that is Tori Amos. So that is a gorgeous song to either sing or listen to at this time of year. And sometimes we have incorporated that in our rituals, the singing of A Winter's Carol. Let me find that. And I'm not going to subject you to that whole song because it's 5 minutes and 20 seconds long. Let me pull this back up again. But the lyrics are wonderful and quasi non-denominational, but more witchy than not. And it starts, a winter's carol, first song of the robin. A winter's carol echoes through the land, and I can hear it ringing out from pine to oak, bringing us with the December snow, bringing us a gift of old, wrapped in ribbons of gold for the whole world, for the whole world. And then it keeps going on, and the lyrics get witchier and witchier as they go. So I would highly recommend actually listening to that entire album, Midwinter Graces by Tori Amos. It's a wonderful album, especially to listen to at this time of year. And I feel like it is not solstice, it is not Yule without hearing that album all the way through at least once. And maybe more times than that. And sometimes we have a joke that maybe sometimes it's too early to start listening to Midwinter Graces. Sometimes we start listening to that before Thanksgiving, which is not that great, but so that's another song that I would recommend. Chants, I usually go for songs rather than chants, but you can still chant those words too. And I have an entire blog post about the lyrics of A Winter's Carol and how it relates to tarot. Because one of the lyrics of A Winter's Carol is 4 wands of you. And so I was just like, oh, that's the 4 of wands. Celebration, and that card is one of celebration. It usually looks like it's a wedding chuppah, and it has the 4 posts of that flowery bower are held up by the 4 wands. So those 4 wands of you, that was the 4 of wands to me, or at least my tarot brain made that association. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen there. So is there any other questions before we get to the giveaway? And if there's only one person in here live, then that makes this really, really easy. So Dina's saying she got the 4 of wands reversed this week. So if you do work with reversals, you don't have to work with reversals, but if you do happen to work with reversals, sometimes it's not an outright negation of the upright meaning of the card. Sometimes there's just a blockage or a miscommunication associated with that card. So maybe there's a miscommunication about celebration or a family gathering or not being able to get together in the way that you wanted to or the way that you first imagined. So it really does depend on what you were asking about, Dina, when the 4 of wands came up reversed, or whether it was just like a tarot card of the day pull. But that would be my off the top of my head associations with the 4 of wands reversed. So if we don't have any more questions or thoughts about Yule, if you're watching the replay, I would still love to hear what you are going to do, how you're going to incorporate some of these ideas into your Yule, your winter solstice, your Christmas, your Hanukkah, your Kwanzaa, whatever seasonal celebration that you are about to perform around this time of year. Please go ahead and think of those ideas and incorporate them in whatever way that feels good and feels best to you. So, all right, I guess there's no other questions. So I am going to go ahead and, hold on. Instead of doing our weekend forecast as we normally do at the end of our Tarot by Hillary Live free workshops, if you weren't watching before, I am giving this away. If you are in the United States, I will ship this out to you because Teresa sent me this in the mail. And I already bought my planner for 2020. So now I have 2 planners, and this has not been written in yet. So it is all yours. So what we're going to do is, whoever is here live, I want you to put in the word planner in the chat if you want to be in the running to win this. Now, remember, if you're watching the replay, I'm sorry. This is not applicable. It's already been done. All right. Okay. So if you want to win this planner, write the word planner right now. Right now. Do it now. And whoever wins this, I will ask you to private message me your email address so that I can email you and give you get the information of your mailing address so I can send this out to you. So Dina's saying planner, so Dina's in it to win it. And if Dina's the only one in here, guess what? This makes it really, really easy. So I'm going to give it a minute. Okay? I'm going to give it a minute. And if nobody else writes in planner, then I don't have to put in a random generator or anything. Dina's the automatic winner. So cross your fingers and your toesies. Dina says, sorry, don't be sorry. You're here live. If they're not here live, you can't win. Right? Right. So let me see here. Let me actually, I'm going to do something really silly while we're waiting. Yeah, Dina's right. Got to be in it to win it. So actually, let me quickly. Let me refresh this. Okay, so I take it back. All right, so Dina's already in it, and I am going to give it.
Unwrap and connect your new phone in minutes.
Ah! Silly ads. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I hope you guys are hearing this. And Jeopardy, please don't sue me. All right. So I have given people enough time, right? And Dina, I will keep that in mind. I have done some Instagram lives before, but the technology for Be Live is not on Instagram yet. At least I don't think so. I think they've got it for YouTube and they've got it for Facebook Live, but I don't think they have it for Instagram. But I have done Instagrams before, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes in here and whether or not I move it to Instagram. But of course, you guys will be the first to know about that. All right, that's it. Oh, move it to Instagram for more people. Well, this is a really quick off the cuff thing because literally, like, I don't know if you were in here, Dina, before when I was explaining, but I just got sent this new planner from Teresa and I had already bought this planner and I literally got it sent to me today and I didn't know it was coming. So it's a surprise giveaway. That's the nature of a surprise. So you, Dina, get to benefit from that surprise because you are in here and you got to be live to win it, right? Right. So Dina, you are the winner of this passion planner. I hope you love it and enjoy it. Go ahead and DM me in Facebook here. You can DM me your address right there, or you can DM me your email address and I will send you an email confirming or asking for your physical address to send this out to you. Please give me time to be able to do that. I don't know if I'll be able to get this out to you before Christmas, but I'm pretty sure I can get this out to you before the new year so that you can use it on January 1st. Okay? Okay. Dina's the winner. Dina's the winner. A winner is Dina. There you go. And on that note, just knocked over my water bottle. This has been another episode of Tarot by Hillary live. I am your host, Hillary of Tarot by Hillary. The website is right there for your perusal. I am a professional tarot reader, connecting you to your intuition and demystifying the mystical and assuring you that, yes, my friend, you do have intuition. I promise you do. Thank you so much for watching, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel wherever you are seeing this right now. Give me some likes, give me some hearts, and I will see you next week. Same time, same bat channel, Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you all. I am so grateful that you are in my orbit. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful night and a great holiday season. I will see you before the new year. Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me know what you want me to talk about, okay? Okay.